Hi everybody, thanks for joining. Given how the world seems to have changed rather a lot recently, I thought it would be interesting to delve a little bit into how to find houses in unfamiliar areas, because it strikes me that people are moving home further away and sort of striking out into fresh areas that they hadn't considered a great deal more now than ever before, which is why I've got Leonia Newman with me today, who runs Accent Relocation, who has vast experience in helping people to relocate from abroad, to relocate within this great nation of ours. Leonia, really pleased that you can join us, and a proper expert in the field, because it is scary, isn't it? It is scary when people are moving large distances, trying to set up homes and families in areas that they don't know. But you must deal with it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's delighted to speak with you. And this is an area, this is one of the reasons why Accent was created, to be able to assist with moves like this. So we have seen how challenging it can be when people are wanting a different lifestyle and they're looking about where next, where should they go next? And it's and you're right, at the moment there's a big drive with now not being in the office all the time, so it really pushes away from that commutable area back to where their office is, and it can be incredibly challenging trying to find the right place for the family, and there could be schools involved, and where next is it going to be? And at the moment, with the market being so challenging as it is, it really is difficult to be able to view those properties, get an idea of which areas that people want to go to, and to really home in onto the lifestyle change and what's important to them, and how to prioritise and not make the mistakes when it can be quite costly when you do any move.
When we're filming and traveling the country, making location, often we get to work with people that are moving large distances, and I really feel for them, because, but as you say, absolutely right, the market is tough, and if you're needing to drive from Dorset to Leeds to go and look at a house, you want to know that that is suitable and worth the journey, and often it isn't. But how do you guys at Accent help people through that? What would your advice be to somebody faced with that? How do they recce a new area?
Yeah, well, nothing beats feet on the ground. So I would say, if possible, preview trips are excellent, and go at different times of the day, walk the streets, get to know the local amenities, go to a coffee shop, go and chat to somebody in the local pub. And estate agents are excellent. So, having knowledge would makes everything a lot easier to make any decision.
Yeah.
And you'll know if you get a good feel about an area. I mean, I did that personally as well, and we looked at so many different areas, and then you just feel one when you're walking down a high street that you could envisage yourself there. So I would say just keep looking, and it is, again, it's timing. So if you're busy with work and you've got children and their commitments, it's very hard to make the big leap. But it can be a whole new adventure. I always say luck favours the brave, and
Yes.
and get out. So I would say look at videos on the area. I mean, we partner with a company called Luxy City, and they've got great videos of schools, and they'll go into properties, and they'll go down high streets, and that's been really helpful. There are wonderful guides on agents' websites on areas, and you can normally find those through YouTube as well, just to get an idea. And also look at local statistics, crime rates, average house prices, and look at school league tables. So all of these things will be important. But how do we do it? In the past, when we've had somebody looking at maybe 3 different areas, so let's take a Cambridge to a London to a Reading. We have actually had them speak to a local expert that knows the market, that can tell them that what they would be the challenges they'd face, the pros and the cons. So
Okay.
even before they go out and take a preview trip, they have the foundation of knowledge there, and then we can build from that.
Because it's such a delicate balance. I describe it as a jigsaw, because
Yes,
you want the lifestyle that you're looking for, aspiring to, but you need the size of house that you can afford. But then
yes.
there may still be other sort of practical elements like schools or an office or place of work to get to. It's really difficult. I guess
Yeah,
that's where accent come in.
yeah, absolutely. And I do think when there's children involved, and a lot
Yes.
of families we help move for schooling, and also to get maybe they're in they don't need to be in the centre of London, and so there's lots of moves, as you're aware, out. But the schooling is a really good place to start,
Yeah.
and so you can then work back from that, and then the commute, and how far are you prepared to commute? Um,
Yes.
and the local amenities. So even though you feel that perhaps you want more of a countryside feel, your lifestyle may warrant that actually you do need to be near that town with
Yeah.
those cinemas and the local amenities.
So your advice is do as much as you can on the internet,
Yeah.
and do the main bulk of your research on the internet, then set up a trip to actually go and experience the different high streets, the different areas, and try and narrow it down that way. Talk to
Yeah,
people.
absolutely. Maybe take a weekend there, and go and visit at different times of the day, because it can give a very different feel. And don't rule out areas on somebody may have mentioned something, but you need to see it for yourself, because
Yeah.
it's such a personal. And also, speak to an expert, or call an estate agent. I find people want to help in general. So
Yeah.
if you do
Yeah.
go, we've often gone into a local restaurant or a pub, and you get talking to people there, and then that's a great way to get a feel for the area.
Yeah.
So it's such a big decision that you need to take your time,
Yes.
and really think about everyone in the family, not just for work, not just for the school. It has to work for everyone to
Yes.
successful move.
Certainly, when I moved out of London, and I've got two children, it took 2 years
Yeah.
for the whole family to go, okay, now the time is right. And then actually we did follow your advice. We chose the school and then went house hunting.
Yeah,
So it sounds like we did the right thing. Well, that's probably given
I
what
know.
I do for a job. Maybe that's a good step.
So I'd been 23 years in one place, so it is quite frightening when you move. But I must say that it's like a holiday every day in the Cotswolds, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's been one of the best decisions we've ever made.
Well,
So
if
yeah,
you get it right, it is exciting. It is invigorating. It's a bit daunting and a bit challenging, but actually, it's also a kind of new lease of life.
totally. Yeah.
Are you in your work? See, I mean, it's much reported in the press. This race for space and the housing market, everybody knows, has been busier than anyone ever anticipated it to be. But in your work, relocating people, which I presume a lot of that is for rental. Are you seeing that pan out? Are you busier than ever? People moving bigger distances?
Oh my goodness, yes, hugely busy, and all over the UK, and everywhere, as everybody I'm sure is aware, is the shortage of stock of good
Yes.
property, and property will just go so quickly within a matter
Yeah.
of days. So that's the challenge. The challenge is to view a property at relatively short notice.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work really closely with the agents, make sure you're
Yeah.
informed of new properties, and then make sure the offer you put in is really favourable, and
Yes.
really consider what you're asking for. Gone are the days of the big long wish lists and putting in properties under asking. So in general, I would suggest there's 30% more people looking, and there's 30% less
Less.
out there.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly challenged, even for those that have been in the industry. And
Mm.
And so that's why, companies like ours are there to support and to handhold and to be there for advice and come up with solutions and
Yeah.
options.
What's it like for people moving back from abroad? Perhaps, someone's been working in Singapore or Hong Kong for a number of years and now feels the time is right to get back to the UK. So that the challenges there are even harder to overcome.
Well, absolutely, and the place that you left at the start of an assignment, and then when you come back, so
Yeah.
you always have a little bit of you've adapted to a new place, and then you come back and things aren't quite as you thought. Cost of living increased since they've moved
Yes.
away. House prices could have increased hugely, and now we've got the current energy
Yeah.
crisis, so it could
Yes.
be quite a shock for
Yeah.
British nationals moving back.
Have you got advice for them, people in that predicament?
Yeah, it's I guess they need to decide, do they want to be back into the area that they were before they left?
Yes.
Do they want to be near other members of the family, or plug back into to the community they had?
Yeah.
Or now with the age of the children, do they need to look at, is it going to
Mm.
be, are the kids now going towards university where you can really base yourself anywhere?
Yes.
And I will also say, for the non-UK nationals coming, it's quite a shock with the price of properties in a lot of places, and also understanding the UK state school system. So
Yes.
preparation is key, and we always start with a video call with a school consultant, with a local expert,
Yeah.
and we just are there to answer any questions and put timelines in place so they know when they should start. If they need to be here in X, what
Yeah.
do we do in order to achieve that?
Yeah. I really feel for people who are sort of slightly forced to relocate for work, because and that happens a lot. The big companies are moving people around the country and indeed around the world all the time. But that seems to happen very quickly. And right, we need you in Leeds in a month. Go. That's really daunting. That's quite frightening, and they've really got to do their research and hit the ground running and get it right. That's
Yeah.
tough.
So we work with a lot of HR. So the questions come to us to free up HR time, and we are there to make that a very seamless transition. So it may be that the wife or the husband, whoever's working, goes ahead first, and they'll be in a temporary accommodation, and then we'd spend time to explore the villages and the area. And then once it works with the schooling, and then the family can then come afterwards.
Because there's a lot of balls to juggle, isn't there? There's a lot of plates spinning.
And lots of people are leaving elderly relatives as well, so that's to be considered if they're moving from, say,
Are there any Leonia, are there any sort of mistakes that you see people making on their own? Are there regular mistakes?
Looking into long leases when we need to make sure that everybody is comfortable if it's the rental market. I would say let's you're moving to a completely new area. The whole point of renting is some people then choose to buy later on, so they like to sort of look and see first.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And that's okay. And it's getting the area right. So it's one of the you don't really want to move around too much, but it's having enough knowledge of the area that you can make a good decision. And that's having an expert that's worked, lived, moved countless people to that area can really make sure that there are none of the mistakes.
So I'm kind of picking up from you that if you're moving to an unknown area, if you're moving to an area that you can't sort of readily access, then it's planning and preparation, a lot of it, isn't it, in getting it right? You do your research on the internet, you give yourself time, don't do the whole thing in a mad hurry, get down there, explore some different areas, talk to people, get familiar, and then make a decision, right, okay, we want to move to there. And then spread your contacts wide and sort of take it gently. But it's about preparation, research, and really trying not to do it in a hurry. That's what I'm sensing. Would that be right?
Yeah, absolutely. And try and talk to as many people as you can. So once you move, I'm a big fan of recommending Nextdoor that can give lots of local tips for local people. So there's lots of information out there if you know where to look.
Leonia, really pleased to be able to talk to you. Thank you for your time. I think it is an interesting period. It's a really interesting topic at the moment because never more so than now, people are able to consider living in far-flung areas, which they couldn't have done or wouldn't have done before. So it must be quite an exciting time. Really grateful. Thank you for your valued advice. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.